Welcome to Pillow Talk and Paperbacks,
the podcast where a husband and wife tackle romantasy books one dramatic chapter at a time.
I'm Mariangelica, and I'm all in for an epic love story.
And I'm Christian, here to question every life choice these characters make.
We're here for the plot twist, the chaos, and a whole lot of laughs.
All after wrangling our three boys to bed and finally claiming the couch for ourselves.
So get cozy, grab a book,
and let me remind you why none of this makes any sense. Hello again.
Hi.
Hi, it's your favorite Xaiden fan.
Oh my God.
Here.
And Dane hater.
Yeah, and today I had a thought, and I was like, what if Xaiden doesn't make it to the end of this book?
No, it wasn't just a thought, actually. It was a major freak out.
Well, hold on a second.
It was a freak out.
I wasn't like, I just said I will stop reading these books if Xaiden dies.
Which is a freak out. You can't not finish a book because a character dies.
It's an internal freak out, and then like a very manly, I'm not doing this thing anymore.
That's nice.
If he dies.
Yeah.
So just tell me now.
I will not do that. So
you can't confirm nor deny.
Hi, I'm Mariangelica.
It's Christian.
We had a heavy discussion around this book because we were kind of looking at, like, what do we have left? Where are we at? How many more episodes technically till we finish the book? And as you know, if you've read the book, what's coming is a lot. So
is it?
Yeah. Like I said, the next four will be fun to read. And there's like some exciting things happening in those four. But from there on, it's just...
I hope so. I feel like for every good chapter, there's like three boring, like, fluff.
They haven't been overly fluff. Come on.
Go
back and listen to our own podcast and hear how much you've liked it. But yes, I know what you're saying. But they've had to do build up, right? Like, we have to get to know the characters. We have to care. And
we care already. They can just...
If we get to the fight, 20 chapters ago...
We're doing a podcast about this. Obviously, we care.
Oh, I care. Okay, so we're going to cover chapters 22 through 25.
25, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 22 through 25. So we're going to go through as usual. I have read the book and Christian has not. And so he's reading 4 chapters at a time. And he's highlighted areas in the book that we're going to discuss. And so I'm going to bring these up as we kind of recap parts of the book.
And by the way, I need a new highlighter. Oh. I'm being serious. There was parts in the book where I just, like, my highlighter just wasn't working. So I had to just,
Okay, so let's get into chapter 22. So in this one, we have Violet starting with a lot of frustration around channeling. So were you feeling for her?
She's a late bloomer. She is. Yeah, I am. At this point, like, what is it, chapter 22 out of 30-something, 38? Yeah. She should have already gotten her abilities, her signet.
I know.
Yeah. So I get it. And she's saying like 3/4 of the school...
The quarter,
her class already has it, and she doesn't. So
yeah, and I think one of the things is Taryn specifically is telling her, "You're not ready to channel yet, Silver One." So there's a lot of that feeling of like of a kid who's like, "I'm ready, just give me the responsibility," and then kind of like this parental figure that's like,
yeah, like
not there yet.
Nobody, like, except for Xaiden, I feel like no one believes in her. Like, even
Taryn chose her.
I know, but at this point he's like you're a work in progress. Like, we have a lot to work on before I truly.
I mean, I think it's for her own good, right? Like, and we found out later in the chapter when they kind of say like, okay, now she's ready. It's almost like they know that there's a lot coming at her with this signet or with this channeling power, and they want to protect her. He wants to protect her, so he wants to make sure she's ready to receive what's coming. So yeah, that's my take on it. I mean, he cares about her.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
So we get a little bit of Dane showing up in here. So Dane, is kind of avoiding...
Unnecessary. That's what he
Dane is unnecessary. So we have, they go to the mats. The whole thing here is happening in the training...
They're in the sparring
gym. And, Ree and her and Violet are gonna, they're sparring, they're there. Dane's kind of like not looking her way. Jack is also there on like some of the other mats. So everybody's sparring and everyone's having some fun here in the sparring gym. Do you feel like this would be a fun, because you told me Battle Brief would be your favorite class.
Yeah.
What would you think about the sparring class?
The sparring class, it would be fun, but at like a very specific time of the day. Like, it's got to be right after coffee. But, like, it has to be before lunchtime because I'm going to get tired by lunchtime. can't be till in the evening because I'll be super sleepy. So it's like there's a window of like 9:05 to 9:15 maybe in the morning that sparring gym would be fun. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Oh, just like a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a little bit there. Okay, so we have Xaiden and who is it? Is it Bodhi? Who
is it
on
Garrick?
the mat?
Was it Gary?
Or is it Garrick?
Garrick?
Who's on the mat with him? Yeah, Garrick.
Yeah. Oh, and they take their shirts off, and this girl's like, "Oh my god, I've never seen shirtless men." Right? She's like,
listen, if
melting.
I'm just gonna take a pause right here.
Yeah.
Guys look at women all the time. Women are more than like it's acceptable for them to do this, whatever they're doing.
Hold on, they're prepping for the big, games they've got coming up, right?
So?
Like, well, she needs to focus, and they bring that up in the book. It's like, oh man, like if
who cares?
If our life depends on this girl,
yeah, they might die the next day.
Busy looking at shirtless Xaiden.
Listen. I would be looking. Everybody would be looking at shirtless Xaiden.
And then you would fail class.
I don't care. One day at a time. You just got to give what you got that day, and that's it. Like, get the best out of me that day.
Yeah, she kept just looking at him, and she just
yeah, because she's smitten. She's just like she doesn't want to admit it, but she likes him, right? There's an attraction, obviously. So let her have it.
Sure.
Defending Violet over here. I liked this little, like, you highlighted it here, but it's like they're back and forth with her and Ree on the mat. Mm-hmm. It's like, he thinks I'm his weakness, but does he help me? And then she like hits and she's like, no. Does he train me? No. Like,
she's frustrated. Like, she wants that. She obviously wants it, and she's feeling a little bit ignored.
Yeah. And listen, she is not the only one, looking at the guys. Ree's also getting very much distracted.
I feel like Ree sleeps with everybody, so it doesn't surprise me that.
No, she's welcomes anyone. She welcomes anyone into her world.
But Ree's also like she's a great fighter already. So
yeah, she is.
She's fine. She can spare a few minutes.
She's really more like training.
Xaiden and Garrick. Vi doesn't have time for this. Needs to focus.
So Xaiden and Garrick have stripped off their shirts and are sparring like their lives depend on it. A blur of kicks, punches, like rippling muscle. Yeah, everyone's going to be looking. And this is a first for her. Like, she's actually never seen him specifically shirtless. And so, she's seen plenty of men before, but not him is what she states here. Mm. So this is a big deal for her, right? This is a guy she has an attraction on, and he's always been in like tight flight leathers all the time. Mm-hmm. So, okay. So, and one of the things is, and I know exactly how that body feels on top of mine, just how much power, right? And so it's like, Taryn, like, she gets hit, and then Taryn is like, serves you right, like, pay attention. You have to be. Yeah. If you heard that,
it's a snowplow.
That is a snowplow coming.
Because we live in Canada.
But I mean, listen, it's getting plowed. Our street never gets plowed.
It's like it's an afterthought always.
Yeah, it's like, well, you got some time. What time is it right now? It's like 9:38 p.m. We got some time. Let's just swing by their street.
Yeah. Well, I'm thankful for the snowplowers out there.
Yeah, I appreciate it because honestly, there's so much snow right now. It's wild. Anyways, so that's our workout. That's our sparring gym.
My workout.
That's true, actually. I do not do that at all. Okay, so, Taryn is lecturing her, like, serves you right. You got to focus, like, pay attention, right? Liam, I love Liam. All his little jokes. He's like, stop objectifying our wing leader. Like, I love him so much.
I like him. And it's not good because he'll be killed off in a second.
Oh,
like, he'll be... Definitely. He'll sacrifice. I think I said it last time that he's going to sacrifice himself to save Xaiden.
Well, you weren't sure. You were like, Xaiden, or is it going to be this, or is it going to be her sister next? Like, you were just like...
I've got all the theories. Listen, if I've got 1,000 theories, one of them is bound to be correct.
That's fair. I mean, at least...
Probably the threesome.
I am really happy the threesome theory was not a thing with you thinking
it was like
two people and a dragon. My God. You were like, I know exactly what the love triangle is. I get it. Okay, so... we could just be watching for technique. And then she says, no, I'm not watching for technique. I'm shamelessly wondering how his skin would feel. Oh, no.
Here we go again. And we're back.
We're back.
Hi.
I need to get rid of that. I need to move the time on it, obviously, because...
Yeah.
Or just remove it from Mondays. Oh, it's not even a Monday. It's a Friday. It's a Saturday. Anyways, I don't know my days. Okay, anyways, so at the end of the day, we understand here that we love Liam. You are saying that you think he's going to die in some terrible way, which I think is horrible because he's so nice and so kind and so funny.
What's horrible about it? Nice people die all the time. In real life and in books.
Listen, I do think that what I like about this is that we get a little bit more of that obvious, because I feel like she's been trying to avoid it. She hasn't been so outwardly like, I can't wait to have his skin on me and have his like, I know how much it feels to have his weight on me. And so now she's like,
well, she's past like the denial stage, right?
Yeah,
and now she knows she wants him. She's like, it's fine if people know that I want him. So
exactly. And Dane is very much like, if you guys are easily distracted, we're screwed for the squad battle.
Which I gotta say, I will agree with Dane. This is the one time that I'll think that he's in the right.
Yeah, no, and I get it, but at the end of the day, he's also like, he's seeing what's happening, and he's like, no, none of this.
Well, now that Amber is gone, now that she's toast.
Yeah.
He needs he wants to get back to Vi here.
So Taryn is very much like, okay, Violet, like actually go for a hit, like stop just defending, go on offense, and she does, but then Rain like sweeps her low and like flips her right over, and then Jack comes up.
Our friend Jack.
And says, well, that is the rider that Taryn chose. What are your thoughts on Jack right now?
Well, so I don't want to say this, but I feel like he's gonna have a very big role at some point, which makes me sad because I just want to see him like dead. So he's just obviously like just poking right at the right buttons, just pushing the right buttons to get to Vi, and he does it. He does it, and he also knows that he's gonna have a chance to kill her.
Yeah.
Very, very soon.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that he's like looking forward to. I feel maybe that's why he's like not even trying so hard right now, because he's like, well, I don't have to worry about it right now. I can challenge her in a couple of weeks and just snap her scrawny little neck in front of an audience.
And then she lost it.
Yeah.
Then she was like, hold up. You're the coward. You ran away when I hit you with my blade.
Yeah. And so, that's one of the things that like, she's kind of like, I'm the one who buried a dagger in your shoulder. You're the one that ran. Like, they're just going back and forth, on this thing. And you ran and like kind of just reminding him what he did. Yeah. He was a coward.
And he was getting rattled. He got like, pretty quickly. So then they had to kick him out of the gym.
Yeah. Well, and first, Dane's like, oh, for fuck's sake, Violet, like you're just like riling him up. And Xaiden's like, well, she's not wrong. Like, that's exactly what happened. Right. So yeah, they have this whole thing back and forth, right? And then they're just yelling like at each other, and then they have to take him out. So.
And then Xaiden's like, well, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, a lot of this, like, it's the tension, but it's also frustration that's coming out in this moment, because she's just frustrated. She's like, I've had enough. And, everyone is making her feel like she is the weak one every single chance that they get. And so they'll also think that Xaiden also thinks she's technically now his like biggest weakness is maybe another thing she doesn't want to keep hearing, right?
There's a lot of things, right? Like she can't manifest her signet yet. She really wants Xaiden, but he's not reciprocating the way she feels right now. I mean, he's not showing it anyway. And then there's Jack, right? Who really wants to. And
he's pissed off because she's not wearing her armor in this moment when she's sparring with Rhee. I mean, she knows Rhee's not going to go for a kill, so she decided to wash it and let it air dry. And he's like fuming about the fact that she's like unprotected. And she's like, what? Like, I have to like, trust you. And he's like, come on. Like, I can't kill you, obviously, anymore. So like, everyone knows I can't kill you. And she says, well, that doesn't mean you can't hurt me.
Aw.
You highlighted it.
I did. And because I wanted to say, aw. She's obviously referring to the fact.
Wow, the commentary is so epic. You should have just written that in there. Aw, into the book.
Yeah, she means emotionally hurt her is what she means.
Yeah. And I think he gets that, because he does say that he kind of like shifts backward a little bit. I think he did feel that in some capacity, and then he just regained his composure, and he's giving her some feedback, like stop training with staves, start training with like daggers that are small like you. So, just and she's just like, whatever, like she's just keeps throwing things at him, and he's like, I am annoyingly aware of everything you do, like I'm just always thinking about you. And it's another way. He doesn't truly make it so obvious in this way, but I think later in the chapters we find out like it is that way. He has been thinking about her in other ways too. So yeah. Any thoughts on that as we near the end of this chapter?
This is one of the chapters where I think it was a bit of fluff.
What?
Yeah, 100%.
Listen, we have some. No. Let me recap, okay? We have a moment here where she's starting to be very obvious about her feelings for Xaiden. We have a moment where we see Xaiden be very protective again, now being like, I'm concerned you're not wearing your armor. We have a standoff with Jack.
It's not the first time they have the Jack. Yep. I feel like everything that you've just mentioned, we've already seen it in other chapters.
That's a fair point. But it does lead to this moment, right, when Taryn says, you held your own and controlled your temper. And then she's ready, Andarna says. And
I've read books before where like a chapter is literally a sentence, and I feel like this chapter could have been that sentence.
Oh my God. Just like she's ready?
Exactly.
But no, she wasn't ready until she went through the thing with Jack.
Okay, fine. Jack frustrates Vi. Vi holds her own, and then you're ready.
No. Listen, get back to you liking this book, okay?
What's 23 all about?
23. I don't know because my page is not turning. Oh,
it's stuck.
Never mind. This is still 22.
We're still going.
Oh my gosh, this chapter is long.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, this one. Okay, so this is the whole scene where Taryn and Sigale are getting it on.
Well, so because right after he says, "I think you're ready," and Andarna agrees, which, by the way, I think she like when she poops, she probably poops Skittles.
What the hell?
I think she's
Andarna?
Andarna, yeah. I feel like she's so cute and tiny.
She is so cute, though.
Right? Yeah.
Maybe like golden Skittles.
Golden Skittles. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, she does get like this rush of energy down her spine. She gets another wave, so it's like she is now channeling, right?
Yeah,
like,
she was just minding her own business in her room, and then it's like, oh, ouch, and then it's like, hold on, what am I feeling? What is this rush? What is happening to me?
So there's like power that she feels like is running all through her veins. I don't know, like I kind of picture it like the moment where like Spider-Man is like bitten by the spider, and you can like see it, like the power, like the venom going like all through the veins, and it's like she's kind of like feeling it all at once.
That's what I feel when I take a bite out of a Snickers bar. Like that first bite of a Snickers bar, that's exactly how I feel.
What? You eat Snicker bars way too much. Like all the time.
Not enough.
It is so funny.
Not enough.
Like to the point that even like my mom comes over and has Snickers. Like she's like, I got you a Snickers bar.
I know. I told her to like always carry one with her in case I need an emergency Snickers bar.
I do not carry an emergency Snickers bar for my husband. That is for sure. Because it wouldn't last. If you knew that I always had it, then it would always be gone. It would be
an emergency every night.
Okay, so she's like, okay, I'm feeling all these things. Like this is your power, Taryn, right? But Taryn is like not talking.
He's busy.
He's busy right now.
He's doing other stuff.
Yes, exactly. So, and it's almost like a haze. Like this whole scene here where she's kind of like, she feels kind of dizzy and she's like coming out of her room and then she sees
Liam. Poor Liam is just, carving little wooden whatever thing he does in his free time.
He's like, I'm just hanging out here in the hallway. Like,
yeah, hanging out.
He's just like being her protector. It's so cute. And then she's like trying to, she's gonna like jump him.
She's like, do I want to fuck him? What do I do?
Yeah, but he's not Xaiden, so like that's not the right one. And so she's like, no, I gotta get out of here because she's like about to go like at him. And she goes out. She's like trying to breathe through all of Taryn's emotions, and like Taryn does not block them out.
I don't think she's clued in yet at this point. Has she clued in as to what's happening?
Well, she just says like, I have to. What did she say? She says something like, I have to breathe through the fog of Taryn's emotions. So she kind of knows like all of these stuff that it's coming out. That it's not her. Yeah, it's Taryn, it's very powerful. It's Taryn, right? So I have to get away from everyone until Taryn finishes whatever he and Sigale are doing. So yes, she starts to understand what's happening, but she's like, oh, there's no block anywhere. I got to get out of here. She runs out. The air is crisp. She's like, okay, fresh air. I'm on my own. And then Xaiden's there.
And then Xaiden.
What did you think as soon as you saw that Xaiden was there? Did you feel like you knew where this was going based on like those emotions? What were your thoughts as you
Yeah. So the moment that she left, I was like, obviously they're gonna make her run into Xaiden, who was probably going through the same thing as her, but it wouldn't be his first time going through it, right? No. So he knows how to handle it. And so when she saw him there, I was like, okay, well, this is the moment where they actually like all this sexual tension they've been building up, all this teasing they keep doing. Yeah. It's gonna culminate. It's gonna come to an end, if you know what I mean. But it doesn't. So he's
smoking. By the way, so in this scene, he's smoking something called like churum or something.
It's probably like weed.
Is it like a version of? Yeah, it must be a version of weed, right? Like that's what I assume. I don't know if this is a real word. I don't know it.
No, neither do I.
We don't know it.
Yeah.
So we're assuming it's like some sort of drug that he says it just like calms you down and like helps a little bit to like distance the connection.
Like
yeah, it sounds like it. And she's still like freaking out. She's like, I feel like I'm on fucking fire. Like I don't know what to do with myself. Yeah. And then she looks at him. She's like, there's nothing I wouldn't sacrifice, nothing I wouldn't give to have one unguarded moment with this man I'm going to be tethered with for the rest of our lives.
Yes, but
intense.
But he actually chooses not to follow through with this, and instead he's going to teach her how to block out all the emotions.
Yeah. And first he's like, where is your bodyguard? Like, where is your bodyguard? Which I think is hilarious, right? He's like, listen, you shouldn't be by yourself. Why are you out here? And then she's like, and he's in bed. And he's like, your bed? Like, it's like his voice is like a crack of lightning. No, not that it should matter to you. Kind of like,
just some like playful flirting, to see what she gets out of him.
So yes, then he helps her shield. So what did you think about shielding as a concept? The whole idea of like shielding your mind, like basically he was teaching her to visualize.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I mean, it's no different like meditating, right? It's just trying to get yourself in a different headspace and
grounding yourself.
Sure. And then it's actually kind of interesting because we know that everything she does, she kind of seems to like really stand out and be really good at it. And once again, she starts doing this mental exercise that he's given her, and he's like, holy shit, like you did this like faster than anyone I've...
Do you have any inkling as to why she did it faster?
Oh, that's a great question. I wonder if her signet is going to be something mental, like something related with her brain.
Okay.
Maybe because she's really strong when it comes to her mind. So maybe that's why, because she's got the ability to manifest a signet now. Maybe something to do with that. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. When I read it, I was kind of like, well, this makes sense because she has this like pain issue, right? And she's always in pain. So she's had to mentally block out pain like her whole life. So she's had to, well, I mean, I'm not saying your theory is wrong, but that's just what I thought in the moment. And I felt like, well, she would be very skilled. She's had to do it all her life to like just literally separate herself away from the pain, build a wall around it and be like, I got to get through this and then I can worry about that pain. And she's had to do it the entire time she's in the quadrant. So, okay. So, and the cool thing about this is that she gets to pick her own kind of visual place to ground in, which becomes the archives in her mind, right?
Yeah.
Which is really neat because as we read on the book, like she kind of continues to build on this visual of the archives and what the ceiling looks like. Is there a wall? Now let me make a window to open up a space for this, and like
it's her safe space.
Yeah,
right?
But it's a way to like access all this stuff, which is so cool.
Yeah, it's like it's her way of also being a scribe, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And so one of the things too is like, what's happening? Like how often does this happen? She's like, this is going to be a thing all the time. And now I'm going to be feeling all these things. Right. And he's like, listen, like they do it. Yeah. And
how often though?
Does he say, he says often enough that you're going to need to properly shield.
Is that like normal for dragons?
Who knows? But they are a mated pair. So, then they're in their happy
consenting
place.
Adults.
I don't know. What else do they have to do? Like eat?
Nothing. Be grumpy.
Fly?
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty chill life.
It does.
Well, they have Andarna to take care of.
And they have to go to battle too sometimes.
I guess so.
Yeah, so they put Andarna to sleep already. Like they put her to bed. It's like, let's make sure she's not waking up. And then
go and be busy.
But where do they do that though? In a field?
I guess so. They have like the whole, what is it called? Like the veil, right? Where all of them are in. But I assume there's like caves and...
How big are these fucking caves?
Big? Tyrion is massive.
They probably just do it in front of everyone. Probably. Because you can't possibly fit that guy in a fucking cave. So you can imagine that it's like a swingers cruise.
Oh my gosh, like the whole veil?
The whole veil is a swingers cruise for dragons. And they just get to have, and sometimes other people, dragons, join. Or people. And there's my, goes back to my threesome.
Way too far. This is going way too far. That is hilarious. No, I mean, I assume they have their privacy. They're a pair. It's not a... Otherwise, then everyone would be mated.
But they don't have a house, Maria. They don't live in a house with a door.
For everyone who doesn't know me, my name is Mariangelica. Anyways, so what can I say? And so then they're like, they go back and forth, and now there's a bunch of teasing happening, right? So it's like, ask me nicely violence, or I'm gone. What can I say? I like making you squirm, right? Like all of these things are happening. There's a lot of little flirting that ends up happening.
So he's like, let's not go all the way, but like we can have sort of this like playful...
Yes.
Like flirting back and forth.
Yeah. And that is one of the things that you mentioned. Like he says, he's wowed about how fast she's able to shield, right? Like I couldn't do that for weeks. So that's something he couldn't do for a long time. And he, he's looking at her. He's like, starts to stroke her face like with his thumb. And he says, damn it, touching you was a bad idea.
Yep. He wants it too.
You cannot understand when I was reading this book, I'm pretty sure it was like 1 a.m. And everybody knows that when you're like reading and then this scene starts to happen, it's like the enemies to lovers finally like come together. It's like you get another wind of energy.
What's the sentence again?
The sentence was, damn it, touching you was a bad idea.
Okay. I'll remember that for later.
Please bookmark that in your brain, okay? Like you were just so moved that you're just like,
I'm gonna set an alarm on my phone, like midnight. Damn it, touching you is a bad idea.
Listen, you don't even know. There's actually a thing going around right now. There's what is that called? Like a trend.
Okay.
Where women that read these books are asking their
husbands
or partners to do one of the scenes. Like, so for example, like it'll be like, he put his arm like on the wall behind me and pushed me back or something like that. It's so, I have to show you a few of them. They're very funny.
Tell me what your favorite one is. And then...
We need to get a different colored highlighter. Actually, they also have these little tabs that come out that you kind of like anecdote, like, different pages, but then you can use like red ones for those kind of scenes and like, different colors for different scenes. So
gotcha. Okay. All right.
Maybe we'll do it with the next book.
Good to know.
Kissing you would be what is it? A cataclysmic mistake.
Doesn't matter. Like a bad, like,
terrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll both regret it. So it's like this whole thing, right, where they're both like getting closer. Like, they're both gonna regret it.
We want it,
and then they're kissing.
I know.
How did you think about this scene? It's like finally all this release, and they're just like, oh my god, they're like all over each other. She's like against the wall, all the things.
Yeah, no, it was a good one. Was it
fun to read?
Yeah, it was fine to read, but I really was expecting to go all the way.
Okay, that's fair. But I will ask, have you ever read a scene like this in a book? Like, I don't even know if any of your books ever have scenes like this. The books that you like to read. You don't read a ton of fiction, so.
No, I haven't seen anything.
So this was kind of like first kind of.
Yeah, like I've never read a book with
romance
this sort
like
of tension. Yeah, exactly. So it was a first for me. Yeah. So I was left wanting,
That's fair. Look at that. See, they left you wanting more. So this is the whole thing. You have to feel the emotions Violet felt. She probably also would have loved it if it went all the way, right? And like, I think at this point, Xaiden's very much like kind of pulls away. Like, this is kind of enough right now. Like, and it basically says like,
I think he's waiting until marriage.
I refuse to act. It says, I refuse to act on desire that isn't yours. Because he understands. It's basically like having sex with someone who's drunk. Like, she's kind of like drunk on sex right now because of Taryn's situation with Sigale.
And so, what a gentleman.
And she's like, but I want everything. And then he says, this isn't your want. Mm-hmm. So let's just have a little.
Not like right this second.
And then he says, just have a little mercy on me and go.
Is that what he said to her?
Yeah. Okay. Like, he's like, this isn't your want. He tilts his head up at the sky. That's the fucking problem. And I can't leave you out here on your own. So have just a little mercy on me and go.
Yeah.
So AKA, he would have wanted
100%.
to go all the way.
We all know that. We all know that.
And she says, that he's
hot for each other. So
I know, but it's just like, so anyway, as you said, you're like, it left me wanting more. Like, that's exactly how you want to feel because like, that's how you want to feel in the book as a reader because obviously
me, and I've got zero willpower. When I want something, it's like, I want it now. I want that instant gratification. I don't want to keep waiting for it.
Yeah, and if y'all are thinking this is about anything other than Snickers or burgers, it's not. It's about Snickers and burgers. This man cannot watch one advertisement because
I am the perfect consumer.
You are the perfect consumer.
I really, really am. Good thing I didn't get into anything.
Please do not talk about the ridiculous thing that is right now in a box in the kitchen.
In a box in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. Ooh, this it's not an ad, I promise. I wish it was an ad.
I just said it's a stupid thing in the box. I'm sure this is not an ad.
What she means is, Skylight, if you're listening, we'd love a second Skylight calendar.
I am not convinced whatsoever. But, he saw enough of the ads and he's
120-day money back guarantee.
Everyone's life is so organized because of this thing. And I'm like, that's not going to help us. This is not going to help us. But
Yes, and that's because I had an impulse and I was like, I want this thing, and so I got it. And I'm not saying it's a good trait.
It is not.
It's not. Sometimes it is, but not right now.
No, not right
Okay,
now.
so what's going on? Let's go back to the book here.
That's it. Just like they just, she says Xaiden stopped us from making a huge mistake. Tomorrow's gonna suck. So this is the very first time we finally have this kind of interaction. We feel the tension of everything kind of coming undone in this moment. And we have all this like newfound connection. We have he's taught her about shielding. They have this like support for one another in this way of like they're both feeling these emotions from the dragons. And at the same time, you could tell both of them had emotions of their own. They just didn't go all the way.
Yeah. And then 23, no sex.
You definitely thought there was way more sex in this book.
I really thought there was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, aside from tension, I don't know why romantasy, I don't know.
I think I think I tried to explain this in a different episode, but it's like and I'm going to speak for myself in this case. I'm not going to generalize for everyone, but the act, like the tension is that like desire that it's like the slow burn, and the slow burn makes everything so much better. Right? It's like anything. It's like
torture. That's what it is. Torture.
No, it's like a very long form of like reading a book of foreplay, and they're teasing. They're like it's like something. It's like they're talking about
I'm
like
all for foreplay, but if it doesn't actually ever get to the act, what's the point?
Well, it will. You just have to be patient with the book. Like the book is going to get you there at some point. Promise, it's coming.
No, it's never coming. To be honest.
Okay, let's keep that going. Oh no, here, can you hold the book for a second?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so can you read what's going on with this?
Let's take a look here. So the most worrisome sight for any instructor is most definitely when powers backfire. We lost 9 cadets my first year to signets that could not be controlled from their first manifestation. So yeah, so poor people, like they make it this far, and then like they have a signet, they're like, oh shit, I'm cool, I've got a signet, and then they die.
Well, yeah, because they weren't able to hold it and control it, right? Which is, again, why I'm saying that Taryn was like, she's ready now. Like, they have to be ready, right? If they don't know how to control it, it can burn them out.
It's the dragon's fault.
No, because the signet, again, is the combination, right, of the dragon and the rider.
Yeah, but then dragons should know if their rider is not ready.
I guess.
So the dragons are the bad guys here.
Oh my gosh, come on. Okay, so chapter 23, obviously like now she's feeling more of this channeling stuff. So the relic on her back is burning.
Yeah,
she's channeling. It's like the clock has started of when she might, like, what is it, like basically blow
like
up
self-explode or whatever
it's like
it is.
A ticking time
like
bomb.
Spontaneous.
Yeah.
What is it? Convulsion. Wasn't that a thing? Like, I feel like when we were teenagers, they used to say that people would sometimes just fucking like just become fire and disintegrate
automatically,
or whatever.
like something combust.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I forgot. Is that even real?
I don't know.
Okay.
We should look it up later.
Okay.
Maybe we shouldn't.
Yeah, no. Maybe one of the listeners should look into it and then tell us.
Sure, that works.
If that's real.
Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff right now that around like, okay, so what does this mean? Because Taryn and Sigeo cannot be separated or haven't really been separated in so many years. Mm-hmm. And Xaiden's going to graduate before Violet. And so then he's going to be off and stationed
They're
somewhere.
thinking about the future already.
Well, I mean, she's thinking.
Ahead.
She's like, what's going to happen? Like, is he going to have to come here? Am I going to have to go there? It's going to break into their lives dramatically. Yeah. And one of the things that they do mention is that usually dragons bond, when they're mated, they bond on the same year so that they, don't have this issue come up.
Exactly.
But they bonded on different years.
But we know that there's no rules apply when it comes to this little love story we've got going on here,
Yeah, yep. And so, okay, so we have a little realization here, a little reveal that Ree can summon. Mm-hmm. So what did you think about the summon
I thought that was really fucking cool, honestly.
Yeah,
right?
That was so cool.
And I'm like, okay, well, one more reason for Violet to feel bad about. Now her best friend has it too, and she still doesn't have shit.
Well, I mean, she's excited for her friend, and like really, I mean, the cool thing here is that it's such a different one. It's you can think about very unique cases where this would be helpful. Like, I don't know how it would be helpful in a big battle, but if they're trying to retrieve something or anything like that, it could be really helpful.
Yeah, and like how big of like an item can
true.
Can she also summon like people or dragons or griffins or anything?
Yeah, and that's a good point and also can it be, what's the distance? Like, can I be here and call something over from another city? Like,
can I grab a Snickers from Shoppers?
Oh God, there we go. That's how you would
Finding
use it.
the use case. Yes.
Yeah, not money from a bank. Snickers from Shoppers.
I don't need the money if I can just summon the stuff that I want.
Oh my gosh, right? That's fair. Okay, so Liam hands Violet this little tiny wooden dragon that he has been what is it called?
Carving.
Just carving.
Just carving, yeah.
And it's Taryn, and it's so like it's such a cute little thoughtful thing. And he said, I wanted to carve on Darna, but I'm not around her enough.
What if he falls in love with Vi? Oh shit.
No,
what if Xaiden kills Liam because he's jealous that Liam is into Vi?
Okay, wait, but Liam still dies in this scenario?
Yeah, because Xaiden kills maybe they kill each other. Because Liam wants to be with Vi, but Xaiden's in the way. Fucking Romeo and Juliet over again, like just.
I think you might as well just stop reading if you already know what happens.
He dies.
Okay,
all right, goodbye.
Okay, so he's like doing these really kind things. He didn't have to carve anything. It was not her birthday or anything.
Exactly. You know who hasn't given her gifts? Xaiden.
And he does say, I wanted to carve on Darna, but he's not around. So like her, so he doesn't know what she looks like.
She's pooping Skittles.
Yeah. And so Dane pulls Vi aside and he's like, hey,
can we skip this part?
Talk?
Can we skip this part? Yeah, he's like saying, I'm sorry for not believing you. And she's like, well, you should have.
And you reach my hand, my head, wanting to like steal my memory.
Yeah, same shit, different chapter. That's all. Like, I really, like, I don't care for this guy. I really don't.
And he does say, like, you have every reason to hate him, like to hate Xaiden. His father put an arrow in Brennan's chest. And something like, but don't you think he sees me and remembers that my mother put his father to death? It's like they both have something.
Something, yeah. They bond over death. That's what brings them together.
So what about this whole thing? Like, do you feel like Dane is just out of the picture completely now, or do you feel like there's going to be like a
I still feel like Dane works or is in cahoots with the general. They're in cahoots, and I think he's like, oh shit, like Vi's really like not happy with me right now. I gotta get back in her good books. Yeah. And that's what I think is going on. Can you tell me if Dane dies by the end of this book?
I will not say anything about that. I will not. I'm not gonna spoil any part of this book. Okay, so basically they keep going. They goes for a while. It's like 3 pages of just her and Dane going back and forth. And it says like he reaches to cup my cheek and I hold his gaze, determined for him to understand he either starts valuing my choices or he never is, or like he's never gonna fix our friendship. And he says like, all right, like I'm not gonna argue with someone that has 2 dragons. Like you're here. Like I'm sorry for not asking for the memory. Like, just go to class. And so he apologizes. He understands. And he's kind of like,
does he, though? Does he actually
in this
understand?
Moment, he says he does.
In this chapter, he gets it. We'll see what happens in the next one.
So we are in, I think we're in Professor, Carr's class, which is a new instructor. What did you think of Carr? Because we've only seen a very brief moment.
We know he's pretty cutthroat, right? Because we know he killed the one kid whose power backfired, or was like one of the forbidden, powers.
The mind reader.
Yeah, that guy. So he is obviously, and he's putting a lot of pressure on Vi, because he says that Brennan had like a great power, and what's her face? Her sister had a great power,
so you had asked me like what Brennan's power was, right? And he says here, your siblings were both gifted extraordinarily. Mia's ability to manifest a ward around her and her squad has been an absolute asset to her wing, right? So she's like a protective shield. And then Brennan, he looks away. Menders are still very rare, and to lose one so young was tragic. So he was a mender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he mentions how like, and I had thought about this. I think I highlighted it here.
Yeah, that this part.
Yeah, well, he says with Taryn having chosen you, will expect nothing but an earth-shattering signet. So then I had another theory.
Okay, let's go with your theory.
What if she's able to like cause earthquakes, and therefore tsunamis, and therefore just destruction everywhere? What if she just like natural disasters? What if that's her thing? She's like, oh, tornado, boom, coming up. Hurricane, here we go. Oh, blizzard, here it is. So like
all the world disasters or something?
Exactly.
Okay, that sounds pretty powerful.
I don't know. Maybe that's foreshadowing.
Maybe.
Earth.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay, we'll see. I'm sure we'll find out soon.
How soon?
I think in the next 4 chapters.
No way.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I think they're good. I think they're pretty good. I think it's either those 4 or the next 4.
I'm going to need 2 Snickers bars.
And listen, I will say something, and I want you to commit to it on the podcast.
What?
Can you commit?
No, not until you say what it is.
You don't trust me.
No, I don't.
Just commit.
Not right now.
Say yes.
Now when you make those little eyes.
I will.
I will what?
I will commit to what I'm about to say.
What? Okay. Oh, sure. I will commit.
He's crossing his fingers.
Okay, but okay, I will commit as long asterisk if Xaiden dies in this book, I'm done reading.
No. That's not. You are not going to stop reading if Xaiden dies. That's not how it works.
So you're not committing to letting me quit the podcast?
No.
But I have to commit to whatever you want to say?
Yes, it's very simple. Mine's a small
request. For the sake of our listeners, I will commit.
Thank you. So we can move on from this conversation. When you read the next 4 chapters, you cannot read any further. It can't be like last time when you were like, I can't stop. I have to keep reading. We will just pause our life.
Say please.
And
say it nicely.
Record. Are you trying to say one of the lines from Xaiden?
I forgot what the exact line is.
That is not the line.
What did he say?
I would highlight. By the way. Like, of all the lines, no. That is going to get you nowhere.
Let's go back. Let's just delete this part of the podcast. And
the line was...
Like this never happened.
It was a bad decision to touch you. Not
say
please.
But at some point he tells her to say please.
Yeah, that doesn't... do you know your wife? Like, do you know your wife? Anyways,
yes, no, yeah, I will stop at the 4 chapters. Yeah, for sure.
See, it was
not a problem.
Simple request. So, Rhea is kind of letting her know, hey, you're all worried that like we're all like Xaiden's gonna have to come over here. You're gonna have to go over there because you think he's the most powerful rider of our generation, but you are. You have 2 dragons. One of them is Taryn. It's like, come on.
If she doesn't know this at this point, like, get your head out of your fucking ass. Like, she knows.
She's grown up this way, though, right? She's been treated like a weak person the whole time. So it takes time to change the perception, right, that she has on herself. So we have some visualizing that's happening here, and all of this is the idea of channeling, right, of being able to use power in some sort of way.
And nothing comes out of this. Right, poor girl. She's really struggling with this.
Yeah, she really is. So
she needs to see a coach, a signet coach.
Third week of January, she gets another dagger in challenges. So she's doing better in the challenges. She's not poisoning people anymore. So she's actually winning challenges, which is a good thing.
Good for her.
But Jack has officially, put her on the mat. So there's something there that's coming. And obviously, there's nothing she can do to stop that.
She's smart. But she's smart.
Exactly. And one other thing is, I think he comes over, is somewhere around here. He comes over and, he is talking crap at her or something. And another friend has an orange. And then he's like, get that away from me. Like, you want to get me sick or something? And she takes note of that. So did you know already when you read that was coming?
Of course.
Yeah.
She's done it before.
Exactly.
So I knew she was going to have something up her sleeve. Like, literally, was it in her sleeve? I don't know. But but I knew that she was, because, she can't beat him like a hand-to-hand combat. Not yet, anyway. I don't know if at any point she will.
Yeah.
So she needs to make sure that she has a plan B.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I also kind of saw that coming. Why?
Because vitamin C, oranges.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
If I had to explain it, it's not funny.
I did not get it. Okay, so she's on the mat with Jack. What did you think of the fight?
Yeah, okay, let's read a couple of sentences.
Sure. So it's like, Taryn is like giving her all these suggestions, right? Like, and like
she's overpowered.
You got to do this. You got to go for the gullet, and do offense now, strike first. And she's like, it's not helping. Like, you're in my head. Just kind of get out for a second. I need to focus. Yeah.
It's like when you have like my kids all asking me for the same thing at the same time.
Yeah.
And he recently told them, I was like, boys, like, stop.
Yeah.
I was like, when one of you's asking for something, that's nobody else talk to me, because I can't focus. I can barely focus when one person talks to me. It's
so funny. It's like they don't hear the other brothers at the same time.
Right? It's like, oh shit, yeah, I remember. I have something to say as well when the other people are talking. It's like, no.
And then they just all keep talking at the same, like, it's like they don't.
But it's worked, because I've heard the other, like, especially Noah and Eli say, well, we had to wait for someone else to finish talking. So anyway, going back to this, she feels the same way. She's overwhelmed. She's like, oh my God, I can't take this. And the next thing you know, she can't fucking breathe.
Yeah. And so she is like trying her very best, and she does draw blood first. She slices him with one of the daggers, and she does say, like, thanking Imogen is going to be one of, if she comes out alive, thanking her is going to be one of the first things. And, like, all the things is, like, Riddick's, like, he's using death blows, and the teacher Amrita was like, pull it back, as if, like, Jack just wants,
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's going to try to, kill her if he can.
Yeah.
And when she feels like she's, like, actually about to just die, that's when she pulls out her little vial with orange.
Yeah, and isn't there a point, I'm going a little bit further back, isn't there a point where, like, Liam's like, I gotta go tell Xaiden?
Yeah. But Vi had actually made him promise that he wouldn't.
Yeah.
She's like, promise me that, like, you're gonna stay here with me, right? And so he did.
Oh yeah, he's like, tell me I can break the promise, Liam begs. And then he's like, okay. She says something like, all right. And he's just like, okay, stay alive. And then he runs to go get Xaiden.
Exactly.
But, he's far. So he has to go run to get him. But, everything's still happening. So there's a bunch of daggers. She throws up her hands and it lodges in her left, like, forearm, the dagger that he throws. Do you find when you're reading this kind of scene, it's easy for you to visualize the fight?
Yes.
It is easy for you?
Yeah, it is. I mean, sometimes I have to read it a couple times.
Yeah.
But I picture the whole thing happening in my head, right? So obviously this scene was about, I was a little frustrated, to be honest, because I thought she was just going to let him die, but she doesn't.
No, she does not. And so he's like, there's a line here. You didn't highlight this, but I'm going to read it. It's important. So, his knee forces air from like my body, like he rams it into my stomach, but I stay on my feet until his hands clasp my face. Agony fills every cell in my body, and he's vibrating energy rips through me with an intensity that makes it feel like he's cleaving a ligament from bone to bone, muscle from tendon. I scream as if I'm shaken by an internal force that I don't understand, as though he's forcing his own power into my body, shocking me with thousands of stings of vibrating energy. So it's like it's like...
What's his signet? Do we know?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if we know this.
I don't think so.
Okay. So we don't know. I don't even know if he has one. He probably does by this point. But there's like, all this is happening and all he's doing is like choking her basically, or like holding her face, like kind of like pushing her or whatever. So there's something here that like you didn't highlight, but I wanted to bring it up because it is an important part of the book where like, as I was reading it, I was like, that's a lot of description on like energy and vibrating energy and all this.
What if she's able to take people's powers?
Okay.
Right? But at first, maybe she doesn't know how to control it now, which is why it hurts her as she's trying to absorb it. Am I right?
I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying you're right at all. I'm just saying that these are some of the things that I think are good to think about, because there's these things that I think sometimes are just said. And it's like, oh, it was just a battle. And it was like in the heat of the moment. And I remember I was reading this scene and I was so stressed. I was reading it so fast. And then that kind of made me slow down because I was like, what is happening here? And that's when she's like, okay, well, if I don't do it now, like he'll kill me. Like my vision's darkening at the edges. I'm trembling. So there's like a bunch of stuff going on there. And that's when she, pulls out the
Sunny D.
Sunny D. So yeah, she basically shoves it right into his mouth, right? Whoops. Sorry. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
And then it basically says like, I shoved the vial against his mouth, right? And then hands reach for both of them. And she hears Riddick and Emerito cry out, like jerking their hands away. Whatever Jack is doing is transferring from me to them by touch. So there's some, and you highlighted this, like it's almost like they were like electrocuted. Like everything is like connected, right? So my teeth rattle, the pain consumes, my body's fighting to pass out, right? I refuses to come to the darkness. And then finally, that's when Jack starts like getting the allergic reaction happening. Yeah. And that's when he like drops his hands and everything finally stops. But that's that whole scene. And like the teacher and Riddick were not able to separate them because of what was happening. So at the very end, she wakes up, she's on the mat. She's not on the mat. She's like in the healer's quadrant, and Xaiden is right by her bedside, and all he says is like, oranges?
Oranges? Yeah.
Like, come on. So what did you think of that? Because there was a lot there in that little scene there at the end. So you had one theory around her pulling some power or something.
There's a lot to unpack, which I can't really quite decipher, right? But in terms of the signet, because it's got to be something with her signet. I can't, like... The fact that she's absorbing it, but then she's passing it to someone else, but then she's in pain. Like, I can't really figure out how it all comes together and how it all works out. And so I mean, that's kind of like mind baffling at this point for me, right?
Okay. That's good. I'll let you like simmer on that. There is another quote from the Book of Brennan, which is something about like, it's why you have to be sure that Violet enters the scribe quadrant, because she'll never be able to take a life if she goes into the writer's quadrant. But
he's not wrong. Here she is again.
And she did not go for the kill. It's Jack. It's one of those people. It's like when we watched, what was that show? The Walking Dead. And there was a scene at some point, I don't remember when or what season, but there was like a bad guy. He was like the mayor or something of some town. And the main character's there with him, and he has like the way to kill him right under the table, and he doesn't. And he just leaves. I'm like, y'all are killing everybody else.
Except
there was a scene, literally after that scene, I could not watch the show again.
Yeah, and it's frustrating, right? Because
it is. It's like, this is the bad guy. And you know why they're alive, but come on.
And to the author, listen, I respect what you're doing. Obviously, people like your book, but that's not cool. Like, so many chances to kill this fucking guy, and he's still alive. Like, it's more of the same.
Well, but it is also in her, it's not in her nature to go to kill him, right? So it would be breaking the nature of the character. At
some point, she's gonna have to fucking break the nature of the character.
Well, maybe, but not right now and not on the mat. If she has another way, she's gonna find another way. Let's say it like that. 10
chapters away from the fucking end of the book.
So chapter 24, basically they're in the healer's quadrant, and Xaiden's like, you turned oranges into a weapon, Violence? Like, come on.
She sure did. She sure did, because she's fucking resourceful. That's why.
Yeah. So basically, obviously, like telling the people that needed to be told, like allowed him to get there in time. And Jack is alive and he's 5 beds down. He's gonna live. And she says, you could have killed him and saved us a lot of drama. There would have been a lot less drama in this book.
But then there wouldn't be 5 more chapters or whatever it is.
And she said, I didn't want to kill him. I just wanted him to stop killing me, which is like, I know. I kind of was just like, come on. I'm like, I'm sick of Jack. I hate him. I just want him gone. And I'm not about killing people, but you're in the writer's quadrant. It's kind of like part of the job.
I know.
So,
and she's getting annoying with this whole not trying to kill people stuff.
Yeah. And so basically this is when he's kind of like taking the reins, right? So he says, apparently I can't trust Liam to report deadly situations or read or train you on the map properly. I can see how easily Barlow like pinned you down. Mm-hmm. So I'm taking over. And she says, taking over what? And he says, everything when it comes to you.
And then she was excited. Yeah. She
well, it doesn't say
finally,
that.
But she thought it.
But it is fun because now it's like, okay, like even when I read this, I was like, okay, finally, there's going to be more interaction because they're going to be together more.
Yeah, so. Yeah. And so it happens, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it's just a point where they go to the gym and they're sparring. Yes.
And they had some daggers that he made for her.
Exactly.
He had made for her.
So that's a gift. So he did give her a gift.
He gave her, how was it, like 12 daggers or something?
He had a bunch of daggers and they have this whole scene where they are on the mat. And he's letting himself be overpowered by Violet, right? Yeah. And he's just...
because you have to earn daggers. That's the whole thing,
they're
right?
They're role-playing is what they're doing. It's a power dynamic here.
Yeah, and that's why she says, like, I can't take the daggers. Like, I have to... Like,
she has to earn them, right? Yeah. She can't have anything that she didn't bring into... into what could go on the school until
Bexaya?
Yes, there we go.
Bexaya. So it's like there are a dozen of these daggers strapped to my body, so like start disarming me. Mm-hmm. And I loved this scene in terms of like tension, bodies on bodies, like they're just like, so these are another one of those sessions where there's smirking, there's flirting, there's like teasing.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, like right, like just the way that it's happening is like it's a whole little like mini sexy scene of this back and forth.
Yeah.
So again, it's not a sex scene, but it is still like it's an exciting scene for like, okay, they're getting closer. There's more interaction.
This one I'm more okay with because it actually leads to the fact that she has these daggers now that he custom made for her that are going to be great for her.
They're going to be light. Her size.
Right, exactly. So there's a point to this scene, right?
You're like, where's the point in every scene?
Yeah.
Okay, so they basically February flies by. So we have a few like.
Did they celebrate Valentine's Day?
I don't know if they have a Valentine's Day. But it's been about 3 months since she's channeled and she doesn't have a signet.
Yeah. No,
I'd be afraid of blowing up.
I would have dropped out.
I would have been like, am I going to blow up tomorrow? Like,
dropping out should be an option. Before you blow up, it's like, can I just
No, you
leave?
have a dragon. You can't drop out. Like, that's just how it goes. So really, she says, there's a tiny secret part of me that hopes my signet hasn't manifested yet because it's different than the others. Not only useful, but meaningful, like Brennan's was. So she wants to be special. Like, she wants it to be special. Maybe that's why it hasn't come. It's taking its sweet time. But anyways, so we do have a little bit of that happening where now we understand some time's been happening and, this is a thing. So we have squad battles coming up. What did you think of the idea, before we get into the actual squad battle, what did you think about the idea of a squad battle?
I mean, it's kind of cool, right? I mean, when you're in school and you've got all these activities that happen, it's like you form little groups or teams or whatever, like competitive, right, spirit. And I don't think the purpose of a squad battle is to kill each other. I mean, I'm sure you could. But it just adds some fun, right, to the school. And we have some really fun one coming up a little bit later. But, yeah.
Yeah. And in this one, I think one of the things with this is with specifically her having a signet and not all of them having them, is that for squad battles, like, she doesn't have a signet, so she can't really bring a signet power to the table.
Exactly. Like, she's not strong when it comes to sparring. She's not a great flyer or rider, whatever you want to call her. She doesn't have a signet yet, so it's like, what can you do? I mean,
well, she's super smart, and she's very strategic. She is the one that comes up with the plan and actually leads the entire team, right? So she's a leader anyways. And so Xaiden comes to take her from a class, right? From Car's class, and she says, like, she's going to miss Car's class today, and she's like, no, I'm not. Like, what are you talking about? And then Dane's like, she needs to go, like, unless the wing has more pressing matters, like, but she needs to go that's going to help her. And then Xaiden's like, she's not going to manifest a signet in the class.
She doesn't learn this way.
It's not happening. So basically Xaiden's been giving her extra wielding sessions while they spar so that she can get better also at wielding. And so anyways, all of the things that are happening in this chapter are around getting ready for
The
squad battles. And some of the things that are happening here with outfits is like, you know, she's like wearing, she's like, I assume that you're not wearing flight leathers under that cloak, right? And so it's like, where are we going?
Yeah.
So where do they go?
Well, so they go through. First of all, they go through this tunnel. They're trying to go somewhere, and they run into her absent mother, the mom.
She says, "Mom."
Yeah. You know what? Like, I think that her mom might as well be dead, right? So she probably feels like an orphan. So that's another thing she's got in common with Xaiden.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So they called them, right? Like they called her to the front, like to the front lines to talk to these people. Like they want to talk to them for something.
No. They were.
What's going on?
So Xaiden wanted to take her somewhere, and they're going through this tunnel, and they happen to come across.
Oh, I see.
Whatever her name is, Sorengil.
Okay.
Yeah. And one thing that she says, it's like, oh, you're taking your time with your signet. Like, you know, it's got to be powerful if, like, Taryn chose you.
Yeah.
And then they make a comment about how they want to study Andarna.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? It's interesting. Like, we haven't really seen these dragons often. Like, your
Says
dad was writing about it.
We're all wondering what powers, if any you're wielding from the golden dragon.
Exactly. And then she's like, nope, not a chance. I'm not about to share this info with any of you.
Yeah, she's pretty private. Like, I don't see her, like, wanting that. And they've always said that
We've all lied to our parents before.
Well, that is true. But also, like, it's dragons, they can't just, like, make rules and then tell dragons to show up somewhere. That's not how it works, right? The dragons are going to rule themselves. And she's like, no, Andarna's not coming.
Yeah. And I honestly, even if she could just, like, summon the dragon that way, like, Violet was never going to just, here, take her to a fucking lab and cut her open to examine what's going on.
Yeah, there's a little bit of history here. So this is Cornell, how do you say this?
Atos? Cornell Atos? Yeah.
That is Dane's father. So that is Dane's father, who worked always closely with the mom, right?
Yes.
Because that's how Dane and her grew up together. And so he's the one that's saying, like, we've had the scribes working on it. You know, we're trying to find any reference in the archives about them. I remember your father doing a bit of research about the second Crovlin uprising, and he mentioned something about feather tails, but we can't seem to find that specific book.
So Vi probably has it somewhere.
The book?
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows? So there's something here, like the whole idea of, like, I even rereading, right? Like something about, like, there was a previous uprising. The feather tails were important.
And now they're coming back. Oh, shit. An uprising's coming. I told you. The people with the relics are going to fucking rise up.
There you go. About to what?
To the people without the relics.
It's like, make it make sense. Okay, so, and he's saying, like, I don't believe that he finished that research, right? So, like, we wanted to kind of continue that. So there's something there. It's like, I know exactly where and she does say, like, I know exactly where his notes are. In the one location he spent the majority of his, like, you know, after hours time, but there's something about Taryn's warning that makes me simply be unable to tell them.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. There's something there, and I think maybe she was probably gonna be like, I want to find those notes myself first.
Let's
right?
go through that.
Yeah.
I feel like. Oh shoot! What was that? Something fell.
dropped.
I feel like Vi is not only is she like a full-time writer, her side hustle is going to be a part-time scribe. I think so, on the weekends and late at night.
You highlighted this here. You know, she's like, she has Xaiden has a back and forth with the mom, right? Like, something like,
well, the mom says, like, oh, you're keeping questionable company, you know? And so.
Yeah. And so Xaiden's very much like, she doesn't know you very well, or, you know, or Violet's like, or she sees right through me. Like, I'm never quite sure with her. And she says, like, and what was that about anyways? Like, saying that you resolved that question years ago or something. Because they had some back and forth in here. And, you know, Xaiden and the general had a bit of words back and forth. And he says, just reminding her that I paid the price for my loyalty. His brow furrows, but he stares ahead of us. Paid what price, right? And that's when he says boundaries, Violet. Like, he's not going to talk about that. But there's something there. He paid a price.
When they go to couples therapy,
for his loyalty.
They can bring that up.
Okay, so Taryn and Sigil are there, and the Andarna is also there. So we're all going to fly. And then this is the part you highlighted because you felt like they were, like, turning into a little group where they have to, like, start working together.
A little happy family, right? So Xaiden wants to he's organized, like, a
family
session, family training session.
Yeah.
And he basically says, like, we all need to learn something today, right? So you need to learn how to stay on. I need to learn why the hell it's so hard for you.
Yeah.
And Darna needs to learn how to keep up. Taryn needs to learn how to share his space in a tighter flight formation. And every other dragon but Sigil is too scared to fly closer.
Yeah. And Sigil has learned to follow.
Exactly.
And so there's like all this little training that he's organized, which is kind of nice.
It's cute. It's a little family outing.
But it's like
it's
useful.
Great. It's great because Xaiden feels like it feels to me like he is the leader of this group. I know that dragons are powerful and shit, but I feel like Xaiden this is his family, and if he wants to stay alive, and if he wants them to stay alive, he has to make sure they work together.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So chapter 25 is our last one, and it's really around specifically the squad battles, right?
Yeah, it's the last challenge of the squad battle.
Yeah.
Squad,
exactly.
Squad.
And so for this one, what is it? They have to get something. It's like the final task is going to begin in an hour, and it's like you have to get into your squads and accomplish a unique mission. And no leadership is going to be around. So you're not going to have any teachers around to help you or to do anything. You're on your own. The mission is simple. Find and acquire by any means necessary the one thing that would be the most advantageous to our enemies regarding the war efforts.
Bom, bom, bom.
Mm-hmm. Did you have an idea like what that could be? Like,
no,
did you have your
I
own
had
thoughts?
no idea, honestly, zero.
Yeah.
So I flew through this chapter because I was like, I want to know what that thing is that they end up getting.
And there's a lot of stuff happening in the chapter, right? So there's a lot of like back and forths. So they get into their squad, who wants to be in command, and everyone's kind of like, do you want to be? Do you want to be? Nobody really wants to do it.
But we know that our heroine is going to come through and she's going to...
Exactly.
I don't think she volunteers. I think she's kind of told.
Yeah. And so what did you think about this scene? Because, we don't need to get into the details of like what everybody does, but it is cool to see them all work together of having like using their signets. Like this person's going to put that person to sleep.
It's like when you watch a superhero movie, right?
Yeah,
and they're all like kind of using their powers to accomplish a mission. And this is exactly what they do, right? So Violet has an idea of what they should get, but she's kind of like shy. She's like, I don't want to share it. And they're like, okay, fine, let's just say it, right? And I think Imogen is the one saying like, just fucking go for it.
Yeah, yeah. And they don't know the signets of everyone right away, and so it's like, let's find out what can everyone do here, right? And so Violet's like, okay, so Riddick can wield ice, Ree can retrieve, Sawyer can manipulate metal, Imogen can wipe recent memories, and then Imogen says, and I'm fast, and then Heaton can breathe underwater, which is so cool. Emery can control wind, a lot of wind. And who else is it? Oh, Quinn. Quinn can astral project.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty cool one, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a bunch of different ones. Violet doesn't have a signet.
Nope.
But, she does know the college inside out. So that does help their efforts. So they're going to break into the mother's office.
Boom.
What did you think when that was going to happen?
Well, I thought it was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Right? And I hope the mom, was she there at the end when they reveal
the items?
She was there.
Yeah.
So they go through this whole scenario, the whole scene where they're trying to break in, and there's a guard by the door, and so like they've got to deal with him.
They got to like knock him out, and then they're gonna remove those memories. Like it's a whole thing, right?
There was a whole thing, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then they're talking about like other people are also. I guess I'm skipping ahead, so I'm not going to talk about what the other people got.
Yeah. But there's a few letters that they find in the office, and there's like things here. So like this was cool to read because it's like we're getting a little bit of an intro into kind of what's insight into what's happening outside of the war college, right? There's these letters that people are sending like from different majors that are asking things or like, hey, we need more support with this. We're we're getting like beaten down here, like all these different things and things that they haven't been sharing in Battle Brief either, right? So there's unrest and all these things that are happening. You highlighted kind of like this whole kind of section, but it's just because there was a lot of things here, right? There's like maps, different things that are happening that are new that they don't see in their map, right? And as she sees the map, she's like, oh, this is what we're stealing.
Exactly.
This is the thing that would help. And then the whole scene of them taking the map out, it was so cool because it's like the guards are coming, like Nadine's like, we're fucked, right? Then like Ree has to summon the map and all the things. So
I think when they make this into a movie or show, whatever it is they're doing, it's gonna be one of the cool scenes to watch, right? Just to kind of see how it all plays out.
Yeah.
And then so some people got some stuff, and I mean that was kind of cool, but nothing really
manual,
out of this world.
What else? A uniform of the infantry, so that they could like pass as one of the infantry. What else? Wing's best offering. Some other they brought a scribe, so they stole a scribe, an actual person, which I thought was hilarious. And then Vi is the one that's going to present, and she says, "We have brought the ultimate weapon for our enemies, an up-to-date map of all the current outposts of." Like, as you were reading that, were you like,
I know, I was so proud. I was so fucking proud, and I was like, I hope absent mom is there to listen to this and realize that your daughter you should have been a better mom. Because, well, but then again, if she was a better mom, Vi could have just asked her for the map, and so it wouldn't be fun. Never mind.
So absolute mayhem breaks out when she says like where they stole the map from, and then I ignore it all as Xaiden tilts one corner of that beautiful mouth and tips an imaginary hat to me, like bowing his head. Yeah, so put the hat. You have to Yeah. And then for a heartbeat before gazing his like back to hold him on. Like she's just so happy that he's proud.
I know. She's like, I've already won.
Yeah.
Oh God, bye.
Yeah.
Oh God. And that is where it ends.
That's where it ends.
So I think right after this, I am gonna go read at least 2 chapters per Snickers bar, and hopefully we'll record again very soon.
Yeah, I think if you read the next 2 chapters, that would be pretty good.
Yeah. Am I gonna want to stop?
I think so. No, you won't. Okay. But I mean, we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Tiredness will hit you at some point anyway. So
yeah.
But this was fun, and we're getting to a really, really exciting set of chapters coming up. Like literally from here on out, I think every podcast is going to be exciting to chat about because
no more fluff.
I don't really think there's any fluff time left.
Tell me again, does Dane die?
I will not say.
I'm gonna be really happy.
Okay, but
Dane or Jack have to die in this book.
Okay, one second. Why are you pairing Dane with Jack?
They're both annoying.
Oh my gosh.
They're equally. One is like emotionally abusive. Dane, he's fucking gaslighting Vi the whole time. The other one is physically abusive.
That's very true.
They're both toxic.
That's very true. And then you also want to kill Liam and Xaiden.
No. I don't want to kill Xaiden. I'm Team Xaiden all the way. I don't want to kill him. I'm just saying that he's gonna have to kill Liam, or Liam's gonna have to kill him.
Oh my gosh. Whoa.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Hi. Yeah. Anyway, so thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Hope you guys are enjoying.
We're having fun.
This little adventure.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun. And now we were already like figuring out like how many more chapters. And I will also say that by the time of this recording, in literally like 3 days, the 3rd book, Onyx Storm, gets delivered.
Drops. And I'm trying to convince you to read it. Read it. And
I may have to. I may just have to, just because it's going to be so hard to wait. I also don't want to get it spoiled by accident online, but it would be fun to live it with you. But I do think this has been fine, me knowing what's happening and you reacting. So it'll help with that vibe staying the same. But I'm excited to see what happens.
Until next time.
Oh, that means I get to read it. I hadn't really made up my mind.
Adios.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
If love triangles and they make your heart ignite, dragon riders, daggers, and books that are spicy just right. Don't keep it to yourself, share with your squad, it's true. And while you're here, subscribe and leave a review. We're reading together, bringing the heat, laughing through plot twists, every chapter's a treat. So spread the magic, don't let it hide. We'll catch you next time on the Romantasy ride. Laughing through plot twists, every chapter's a treat. So spread the magic, don't let it hide. We'll catch you next time on the Romantasy ride.
If love triangles and fame make your heart ignite, dragon riders, daggers, and books that are spicy just right.
Don't keep it to yourself, share with your squad, it's true. And while you're here, subscribe and leave a review. We're reading together, bringing the heat, laughing through plot twists, every chapter's a treat. So spread the magic, don't let it hide. We'll catch you next time on the Romantasy ride.